The words hang between you for a moment too long, just like how something else is hanging between him. Something big. Hello, and welcome to Convicted Hearts. This is a Jujutsu Kaisen dating sim in which you get entangled with Hiromi, your new defense lawyer after a murder accusation makes your life fall apart. And let's just say, the judge's gavel isn't the only thing that's gonna be banging. Let's get started. Oh, I'm so excited. They say the truth sets you free. Then why are you still locked in a cell? The ceiling doesn't have answers, just the same hairline cracks you memorized, etched like spiderwebs into off-white concrete. 4, which is probably unlucky. But you're not sure it matters anymore. It's been 22 days. They should be appointing you a lawyer soon. Time is running out for them to get a confession. Not that they don't try. Interrogations last 6 hours on average, sometimes longer. Always the same questions, always the same glares. It doesn't matter how many times you say it, you didn't do it. But that's not what they're listening for. You know the game too well. Less than a month ago, you sat on the other side of the table. You know every angle they'll take. The psychological nudges, the strategic silences. You've used them yourself. Justice. That's what they say they want. You've always wanted it too, and you still want it now. A low clunk outside the cell door makes your pulse flicker. Your head turns, slow like an animal scenting a trap. The guard's voice grates against the hush. You've been appointed a lawyer. Your heart leaps. Finally, the key turns and the lock and the door groans open. Hurry up. A frown deepens, carved deep, as if your refusal to confess personally insulted her. She doesn't hide it. You don't blame her. They all expected you to fold, but they forgot who you were. You don't feel bad, and you sure as hell aren't making it easy for them. You can't help the dry laugh that escapes when you sit down across from your lawyer. Of course it's you. Hiromi doesn't flinch. He watches you through the transparent partition, face unreadable. He looks tired, worn down in a way that goes deeper than a lack of sleep. Yeah, I'll wear him down another way when he goes deeper in me. You can see it in his eyes, in the set of his jaw, but somehow that makes him look even more handsome. You've seen him before. Heard the whispers in courthouse halls, a prodigy in a suit slicing through cases like a blade through silk. You've always figured your paths across eventually, but not like this. Not with a pane of glass and a murder charge in between you. It's almost funny. He defends the ones no one else will. You put them behind bars, and now he's the one meant to save you. Are you disappointed, prosecutor? No, you're predictable. Always going after the impossible cases. You think your case is impossible? Why? You let out a slow sigh, leaning back in the chair, the rigid plastic digging into your spine. Yes, it's basically impossible. When the people accusing you can't even see what really happened or the real culprit. If those damn sorcerers bothered coming to this backwater town to clean up the mess, it'd be over already. But either they don't care or they're too understaffed as usual. There is no easy way out. Not for you. You say it's impossible, but you didn't confess. You still have hope. Your eyes snap to his. His expression hasn't changed. He shifts a stack of papers in front of him, bringing it closer. You're currently being held on suspicious of negligent driving resulting in death and leaving the scene of an accident. The report claims that you hit the victim, Shohei Takeda, with your car and ran off, only to return a few minutes later and you were arrested. Is that correct? Can you tell me exactly what happened that night? You nod. You said it aloud so many times it barely feels real anymore. I was driving home around 10 p.m. when someone suddenly ran into the street. I swerved right, but the man still hit the side of the car and went flying. I stopped and got out when I saw him lying on the ground, and then you stared past him, past the glass, till the memory burned behind your eyes. The man lying on the pavement, still moving, but not like a person should. His arms jerked, like something was pulling the strings. Because something was. Dark purple threads were hooked into his back, twitching, alive. You looked up, following them. A curse loomed above him on a streetlight, mouth wide, teeth sharp, ready to snap shut around you. You dodged just in time, curse energy rushing around you. And then, you ran. His voice pulls you back. You blink and then nod, trying to shake the weight of the memory from your shoulders. Yes, I went after the culprit. I couldn't catch them. So you know who the real culprit is? You meet his gaze. He's testing you. I'll test him, in bed. You can't tell him the whole truth. Not when it sounds like madness. If he thinks you've lost your grip, he might twist your defense into a plea of insanity, and you'd get locked up anyway. Just in a different place. You can't let that happen. You need to get out. You need to finish what that curse started. I'm gonna stay silent this time. If you don't tell me everything, it'll be more difficult for me to help you. You breathe in. Look, yes, my car hit the victim, but the impact wasn't what killed him. All I need you to do is to prove that he died from something else. Can you do that for me? He studies you, quiet. You can't tell what he sees. Guilt, desperation, or something else. Maybe he thinks you did it. Maybe he's already considering handing the case off. But then he nods. I'll see what I can do. You exhale, tension bleeding out in one long breath. He stands and adjusts the cuff of his sleeve. I'll come back when I have more information. He bows just slightly, then turns to leave. The door closes behind him. For a second, you imagine following him. Imagine what it would feel like to step outside again. To feel the air on your face. Let's move. The guard's voice snaps you out of it. You led back to your cell, but I sure hope I'm in his hands. Leans back in his office chair. The weight of this day sinking into his shoulders, just like how I'm gonna sink onto him. You know, you're a fucking pervert. Has anyone ever told you that? The dim light from the desk lamp throws soft shadows across the mess of papers in front of him. Evidence reports, testimonies, transcripts. All of it from her case. It's the most irrational thing he's ever taken on. Nuh-uh. Because I'm pretty irrational too. And seeing he's gonna take me on. He pulls at the collar of his shirt, then rolls up his sleeves. His arms are sore. He's been reviewing the same few seconds of footage for hours. There's no real explanation, no clean answer. Witnesses said the victim had been stumbling into the street before the impact, possibly disoriented. But it doesn't explain how he died. He scrubs through the video again, eyes narrowed. There, the moment of impact. The victim collides with the side of the car hard, harder than he should have. Like he launched himself into it. The force looks off. It wasn't the car that struck him. It was the opposite, and yet he died. He leans forward, elbows on his desk, hands steepled as he replays the footage again. This time he focuses on her, the prosecutor. She steps out of the car, shoulders rigid, eyes wide. She freezes, then turns, like she senses something nearby. Her stance shifts, and then she moves, fast, like she's reacting to something just outside the frame. She was fighting something, or someone, or something invisible. He rewinds again, slower now. His gaze fixes on her face. The quality is grainy, but even through the distortion, he recognizes the expression. He's seen it before in court. It's the same look she wears when tearing into a suspect with every ounce of righteous fury. The same cold fire she uses to pin criminals down and drag the truth out of them. A look that says, I know what you are, and I won't let you hurt anyone else. There's no mistaking it. Whoever, or whatever she went after, she believed they were the real killer, but there's nothing on the footage. No second figure, no shadow, no movement in the corner of the frame. Nothing. Just her, fighting ghosts. He exhales slowly, running a hand through his hair, frustration prickling at the edges of his thoughts. What the hell really happened that night? There's more to her story, that much is certain. The truth hovers just out of reach, coiled around her words and tucked beneath her silence. Why hasn't she told him everything? Is she protecting someone? Herself? The screen dims as the player loops again. He doesn't stop it, just stares, silent as the frames flicker past. Her image replays over and over, the stillness before the storm, the sudden movement, the look in her eyes. And somewhere in the middle of that looping footage, something twists quietly in his chest. He doesn't know what it is. Maybe curiosity, maybe concern, maybe something else. He wonders for a moment what it would feel like if she ever looked at him like that. Is that what you're into, Hiromi? I can do that if you want. Before he has an answer, the fatigue creeps in like a tide. Even as his hands begin to close, the image stays with him, her, standing alone against something no one else could see. She doesn't have to face it alone. Not anymore. Oh, we're back to me. Days pass. You read a few more books. Not because they're good, but because there's nothing else to do. You can't even exercise when you want. And when you're allowed into the common area, the conversations are worse than silence. Some of the others seem to take real joy in your downfall, as if your fall from grace makes them feel taller. The questioning is worse. Detectives and prosecutors keep hammering the same line about the victim's family, about how your confession would give them peace. You feel for them, you really do, but confessing to something you didn't do won't help anyone. When you get out of here, you'll go after what actually killed Shohei Takeda. One evening, back in your cell, after another round of questioning, you hear shouting down the corridor, the drag of feet, a panicked voice echoing off the walls. It wasn't me, I swear. It was a monster. A horrible monster. I didn't kill anyone. You rise immediately and move to the bars. They're dragging her past. She's pale, soaked in sweat, tears sliding freely down her face. Her fear is real, and so is the trace of cursed energy clinging to her like smoke after a fire. Your stomach tightens. A horrible monster. Could it be the same one that killed Takeda? Your hands grip the bars, jaw tight. Where the hell are those damn sorcerers? Back off. The guard snaps the command. You shoot her a look, but step back just out of her reach. You'll talk to that woman tomorrow. They can't stop that. Morning comes, and for the first time in days, you're eager to leave your cell. In the corner of the room, the woman sits alone. The others give her space like she's contagious. You cross the room and sit beside her. She doesn't speak at first, doesn't look at you, but slowly her shoulders loosen. You ask a few questions, her name, age, nothing too direct. She's Rei Miyake, a college student. After a while, when her hands stop shaking, the words start to spill. It wasn't me. What'd she say? You won't believe me. Try me. She draws in a slow, ragged breath. I was walking in the park. It was late. Then 2 people come out from behind the trees, moving strange, like they were sick. I thought that maybe they were drunk or hurt. They collapsed. I ran to help them, and then she hesitates, looks at you. Fear still swimming in her eyes. You nod as she goes on. Jaws above me. I didn't see the rest. Just teeth. So many teeth. It tried to eat me. Your blood goes cold. I climbed on my bike and got out of there. But now? They're saying I stabbed them. That I killed them. I didn't do anything. And now they want me to confess. They say I'm crazy, that I'm lying. She's spiraling. You place a hand on her shoulder. The contact stills her. She looks at you like you might be the only sane person left in the world. Breathe. She does, and slowly starts to calm down again. I believe you. Miyake, don't confess to anything. We're getting out of here. That thing is the reason I'm in here too. For a moment she stares at you like you've just torn open the sky. Then you really see them too. You nod and she lets out a shaky, broken sound. Between a sob and a laugh, the sound of someone who's no longer alone. Not long after, you're called to the interview room. Enters with a stack of documents under one arm, thicker than last time. I sure hope he's thicker than last time. When he sets them down on the table, the weight of them echoes faintly in the quiet room. You can't help but smile. He really is meticulous. You let your gaze wander, noticing his long fingers. Wow. The way his clothes fit just a bit too well across his chest. You don't know why each detail is so fascinating. Maybe you've been confined alone for too long. He meets your eyes and freezes just for a moment. Surprised maybe. Then he clears his throat and looks away, adjusting the cuff of his sleeve like he needs something to do with his hands. Well, I'm right here if you need something to do with your hands. Did you find something? He nods and begins to explain. He's methodical, as always, but not hopeful. So, there's no conclusive evidence of my innocence. Not yet. I'll keep looking. You're a genius. Or so they say. If anyone can figure it out, it's you. He pauses like he doesn't know how to take the compliment, then nods once. There has to be something he can use without involving the Jujutsu world. Something that stands up in court. Something the law can hold in its hands. Then you remember the woman from earlier, Miyake. You remember her fear, the way her story mirrored yours. But if he talks to her, what if Miyake tells him about the curse? Or worse, what if he starts digging around that park and the curse targets him next? Your fingers twitch slightly against the table. Tell him about the woman. There's a woman who was just detained. Her case sounds a lot like mine. Maybe there's something there you could look into. He leans forward slightly, and for once, he doesn't seem to mind that you're being vague. What's her name? Miyake. Rei Miyake. He nods and stands. A pang of disappointment rushes through you. He's leaving already. Thank you. I'll let you know if I find something. He gathers the papers, heading for the door, but then he pauses. Do you have anything you want to read? I heard your relatives and co-workers have cut contact. That catches you off guard. You blink a few times. Whatever's fine. Anything. He nods, hands still on the door. You tilt your head slightly to the side. Why is he lingering now? Not that you mind. He's much better to look at than the 4 cracks on the wall. I sure hope I can look at his crack later. And he looks at you more carefully this time, like he's thinking of something he shouldn't say. Is something wrong? No, just I imagine it gets quiet in here. That's the point of a cell, isn't it? Something shifts in his expression. A flicker of amusement, perhaps. I meant the kind of quiet that gets into your head. He looks down briefly like he's debating with himself. If it gets too much, you can talk to me. About anything. You blink. Is he worried about you? That you might snap, lose your grip, do something irreversible? You've seen isolation tear people apart before. Maybe he's seen it too. Maybe one of his clients didn't make it out whole. Either way, you appreciate it. You don't know many lawyers who would offer something like that. You find yourself smiling. Are you always this charming? That gets him, just slightly. You catch a twitch in his jaw, a quick breath. Only when I'm tired. But aren't you tired all the time? You're tired a lot then. You don't mean for it to sound flirtatious. But when you see the way his expression shifts, surprised. Maybe even a little thrown, you don't regret it. I'll be back soon. Try not to memorize the cracks in the wall before then. Too late. He huffs something close to a laugh and then steps out. Take care. Prosecutor? I miss you. You watch him go, ignoring the guard's suspicious glance as he passes. Really is something else. You really wish he could have stayed longer. You're already thinking of what you'll say next time. What you'll say to see that flicker on his face again. You hope he comes back soon. The office is quiet this early. The overhead lights casting a low hum across the room. Papers lie scattered across the surface. Case files, notes, everything tied to the prosecutor's case. Word is spread. Everyone knows he's the one defending her now. The whispers always seem to follow him, drifting just close enough to hear that she's guilty, that she deserves it, that even he can't save her. He ignores them, the way he always does. Instead, he reads. He replays the CCTV footage again, eyes tracking every second like he might catch something new. She's carved herself into his attention. He's used to being absorbed in a case, but not in a person. Not yet he isn't. Not like this. He doesn't know why this one feels different. Maybe it's a mystery around her. The way she holds herself like she's guarding something much bigger than just her innocence. He is good at reading people. His career is built on it. But she is like a story that won't let him stop turning the pages. He wants to go back to the detention center. Hear her talk. No more. There's something in her silence that calls to him. And he wants to hear it speak. It's probably just the lawyer in him. Yeah, me. I'm the lawyer in him. He's always been drawn to the complexities of human nature. I haven't seen you this focused on the case in a long time. He flinches just barely. His department chief strolls in with a cup of coffee in hand, making her usual morning rounds. I like challenges. I know, and you've always liked them complicated. She takes a slow sip, then casually glances at his screen. The footage is paused on the prosecutor's face. He doesn't miss the look in the chief's eyes, and he doesn't miss the image on the screen. He gives her a flat look and closes the video with a tap of the keyboard. Chief, I'm just messing with you. You're both polar opposites. I always want to see you two face against each other in court. Oh, the tension. Looks like the chief has been reading too many romance novels again. Is there no tension now? Not even a little bit? He gives her a look. She sets the cup on the edge of his desk, clearly enjoying herself. Is she trying to make him lose his license? There'll be a conflict of interest. Professionally and ethically. She sighs like her favorite drama just got cancelled. Shame. Still, as you like to say, humans are flawed and you're still human. Last I checked. She picks up her cup and steps away, then lowers her voice as she walks. Let me know if your feelings change. She waves her fingers in a lazy goodbye and disappears down the hallway, leaving him alone again. He exhales slowly and returns to the screen. She really wants him to lose his license. The woman agrees immediately. Says she'll do anything to help her. Says she believed her when no one else would. She keeps talking about the prosecutor. About how kind she was. How calm. He finds himself picturing the two sitting across from each other in the detention center, speaking quietly while the rest of the world ignored them. Did they talk often? Did she give her hope? He loosens his tie slightly and shakes the thought off. It's irrelevant. He turns to the files and freezes. There are 2 autopsy reports in the woman's case. The second one was signed by the same examiner who handled the prosecutor's case, Dr. Suda Masaki. He pulls both reports side by side. Same vague language, same unexplained trauma. No signs of internal bleeding that match the supposed force. He stops at one line and reads it again. His eyes widen. He needs to speak with the prosecutor now. You've been reading the book. The variety is almost endearing, like he wasn't sure what you'd like, so he tried to cover every base. Literary novels, crime thrillers, romance, even manga. A few of the spines are cracked, the pages softened by time and use. These aren't just hand-me-downs, some of them are his. You imagine him reading between court hearings, tucked into some quiet corner of his office, brow furrowed. One hand steady on the page, the other flickering a pen between his fingers. It's an image that's become harder to shake lately. You had too much time on your hands, and his face keeps filling the silence, especially during interrogations. It's easier to zone out and wonder what he might be doing, what he might be thinking. You mentioned that offhand to one of the investigators. He didn't like it. Not that you care. During time in the common area, you stick close to the young woman, Miyake, the only one in this place who doesn't look at you like you've already been sentenced. She grows quieter after each round of questioning. They're wearing her down. You can see it in the way she sits, the way she clutches her own arms like they're the only thing keeping her from falling apart. But you keep reminding her to hold on. You remind her that she's not crazy, that you're going to get out of this. More and more people are processed through the detention center. Some confess and vanish. Others come in and take their place. It's like the walls are breathing, swallowing people whole. And still, you are here. It's not long before a guard calls you to the interview room again. You don't let yourself smile too much, but you feel it. The flicker of warmth rising in your chest. Among other places, Kim is already inside. busy with the stack of papers. His posture is a little tense, the light catching the sharp line of his jaw. His tie slightly loosened like he's been at it for hours. I sure hope we can be at it for hours. You watch him for a moment longer than you probably should. You wonder if the fascination will fade once you're free, or if it's just another trick of confinement. Probably. You figure others have looked at him the same way, maybe more than a few. You don't dwell on it. The feeling will pass. Everything does in here. He slides a few documents towards you under the glass partition. One catches on the edge, you reach out to free it just as he does. Your fingers touch. It's barely a moment, skin against skin, fleeting and soft, but it hits harder than expected. You haven't been touched gently in weeks, maybe longer, and it startles you. It seems to startle him too. His eyes meet yours, caught mid-thought, as if the room suddenly tilted. He doesn't speak, just holds your gaze like he forgot what he was about to say. You draw the papers towards you. That seems to shake him out of it. The books you sent me yours. For a second, his composure wavers.
Yes. Was something wrong with them? I can bring some more if you like.
You shake your head, almost laughing. No, they're fine. Just revealing. I didn't expect you to be someone who reads manga. His brow twitches and for a moment he seems like he might actually blush.
They're well written. Some of them at least.
He clears his throat and straightens the papers in front of him, avoiding your gaze.
We can talk about it later. There's not much time.
You chuckle, unable to help yourself. He glances at you like he grew another head, and it only makes you smile more as you look at the papers. Alright then? What did you find this time? He casts a quick look towards the guard outside the door, voice dropping.
I looked into the case you mentioned. Rei Miyake. Do you talk to her a lot?
And there's a shift in his voice when he asks the question, barely noticeable, but not quite neutral. You can't figure out what it is. We spent our time in the common area together. She's not doing too well, but I'm certain she didn't do it.
How do you know?
He's pressing you again, but you can't tell him. Intuition, I guess. He opens the folder again, voice quieter now.
Something strange came up when I was reviewing her case. There are 2 autopsy reports. The second one was filed by the same examiner who did yours, Dr. Suda Masaki. The wording's nearly identical, and in that second case, they claim the stab wounds were self-inflicted. Said Miyake used a knife, stabbed the victims on the back, but nothing in the report adds up.
The back. That's where the curse's threads were, wasn't it? So why didn't that appear in your autopsy report?
I tried to get more information about your file. Tried contacting the doctor, but they shut me out.
That seems unethical given that he's my lawyer. Hello? Obstruction of justice? Obstruction of evidence? He doesn't say the word, but you hear it anyways. Covered up.
Do you have any enemies on the force? Anyone who'd go this far?
You snort. You don't have to think too hard. More than I like. He exhales slowly, then folds the report shut.
I'll ask around. I'll go to the police station and the medical examiner's office. Someone must know something.
Your eyebrows rise. He's barely avoided being targeted by the curse while investigating, and now he's talking about pressing deeper. Something about him pressing me deeper. Going up against the police. If he chooses direct confrontation, it could get ugly. Curses aren't the only threats in the world. People can be just as cruel, and he knows that. Offer a safer idea. It's better if you try and get a new autopsy report. Hire a private forensic specialist. Someone outside the system. That way, he won't have to confront the authorities directly. It'll be safer for both of you.
I'll do my best.
I know you will. You see it in his eyes, that unwavering focus, that quiet fire. You want to protect it. You want to protect him. You expect him to leave, and he doesn't. He stays seated, eyes on the table like he's debating something. His silence stretches just long enough to make you glance up. Does he not want to leave?
Are they treating you well?
The question is gentle, almost too careful. He probably feels bad that you don't have visitors, but something in his voice lingers. You tell yourself it's your imagination. Your mind's been active lately. Too much time, too few outlets. You start talking about whatever comes to mind. It's easy, this part. Like neither of you wants the moment to end. You ask about the books just to see how he reacts. I was surprised by the raunchy scenes in one of those books.
Raunchy?
Yeah, pretty explicit stuff. I didn't know you're into that kind of thing. Look at him blush. He's so cute. Oh, I love him. His ears pink immediately. His lips part like he's about to defend himself and then close again.
Which one was it? I'm sure I picked carefully.
You laugh. His expression is too sincere, too worried. He realizes you're teasing him. A small reluctant smile tugs at his mouth. It's the first one you've seen from him. You look at him for a long moment. That smile changes him, softens him in a way that's more dangerous than the silence. The moment stretches, neither of you speak. You're both suddenly aware of the partition between you and how small the room actually feels. Eventually, the topic drifts to work. It always does with workaholics. Do you have any other cases now?
Not now. The last one wrapped up before yours began.
I heard you're on another driving one. Drunk driving, wasn't it? Is the family giving you a hard time?
That's to be expected.
You remember that case? You almost prosecuted it yourself. The details come back easily. A depressed young man with a drinking problem, abused at work. No support system. Got behind the wheel and killed 2 kids. Nothing clean about it. What was the sentence?
15 years. With the possibility of parole after 10. The guy was overwhelmed with guilt. Didn't even try to defend himself.
That's sad for everyone. There's no winning in a case like that. He nods, accepting your view without argument. Silence settles between you again, heavier this time. Do cases like that ever keep you up at night?
Some stay longer than they should.
There's something in his voice. An admission, maybe. You hold his gaze. And me? Will you still think about me when this is over?
There's no way I could forget you.
Oh, right. He really is forward and blunt, isn't he? Your heart skips a beat, color rising in his face as the weight of what he just said sinks in. Just like how he's gonna sink into me.
I mean, your case. It's unique. There's a lot I still don't understand, and legally it's very unusual. Complex. Full of variables and inconsistencies, and you're not that you're inconsistent, just...
I get it. You cut him off, fighting the smile tugging at your lips. The guard appears at the door.
Time's over.
The tension hasn't left the air. Good luck. His hand hovers near the edge of the glass. For a second, you think he's gonna say something else, then he catches himself and gives you a slight nod.
Until next time, prosecutor.
And you watch him go, wondering what might have happened if there hadn't been glass between you. No one gives him straight answers. The silence is purposeful, heavy with suspicion. He thinks about the prosecutor, how she's counting on him. He needs to keep moving forward. The medical examiner's office isn't openly hostile, but the stares start the moment he signs in. Some are subtle, most aren't. He knows that look. Suspicion dressed up in forced civility. He asks about Dr. Suda. The coroner is still on the autopsy. No one wants to talk. They ask him to wait. So he waits. Quietly near a young assistant, logging case files at a terminal. This is the reason he came. Maybe the guy will say something. Slip up. That's all he can hope for.
Sorry, would you be able to pull the autopsy file for the accident on May 10th?
I'm not supposed to give those out, but I can check if we sent it. He types. A file appears. The date, the timestamp. It's different from the one in his possession. He tries to remain calm.
Can I get a copy of that one?
The kid stiffens. Wait, you don't have it already?
I'll have to ask my supervisor. Of course. Thank you.
The second the assistant disappears down the hallway, he stands there for a beat. He shouldn't. He knows that. It's a violation. Illegal, unethical. The kind of thing he once swore he'd never do because the truth was supposed to be enough. He stares at the terminal, at the glowing cursor blinking like a dare. But then he sees her again. Her face across the glass in the detention center. That strange calm she wore, not because she wasn't afraid, but because she trusted him. His jaw tightens. He plugs in the USB drive and copies the file. He won't let the system crush her like it crushed so many others. Not this time. He ejects the drive and calmly resumes his position, just as the assistant returns.
Sorry, my supervisor says we already sent that report. If your office needs it again, please submit a formal request. I understand. Thank you for your time.
You were so hot. That was so sexy of you. He nods politely, even gives a small bow. The guy hesitates like he wants to ask something but stays quiet. 2 security guards step into view with frowns on their faces.
Sir, we need to escort you out now. The director's in a meeting.
Of course they would. He walks with them, silent until he's out in the cool air. Only then, with the precinct fading behind him, does he allow the smallest of smiles, and it's so cute. He got what he came for. Back at his office, plugs it into his laptop and opens the file. The screen fills with text. His eyes catch the line before he even finishes reading the rest. Knife wounds on the back of the victim's body, matching the second one, the one involving Miyake. But that's not what makes his breath catch. It's a timestamp. Time of death, 9:41 p.m. Almost 20 minutes before the accident. He blinks and reads it again. And again. 20 minutes before the accident. Before she hit him. Before the sirens and the chaos and everything that came after. Whoa, someone's in trouble and it's not me. The man was already dead. It doesn't make sense, not logically. But that doesn't matter now. Just like it doesn't matter who she ran after. Or what the culprit was. This is proof. Concrete. Buried for a reason and now brought to light. He leans back in his chair, heart racing. It's over. She won't rot behind bars for something she didn't do. He doesn't like getting hopeful, since court is unpredictable. But for this moment, he lets the relief sink in. The room is silent, but his mind isn't. He thinks of her. When he pictures the way she might smile after hearing the news, his chest tightens. He tries to call it relief, justice served. That's all there is. But he spent his life picking through the truths people hide, peeling away the layers they use to protect themselves. He knows a lie when he hears one. Even when it's his own, he exhales, scrubbing a hand through his hair. The chief's words echo back to him. Is there no tension now? Not even a little bit. Is there? Is that what this is? He doesn't know how to name it, not exactly. It's not bad, just unfamiliar. He spent so long learning how to silence his reactions, numbing himself to survive the weight of other people's stories. But in doing that, he numbed the good things too. It felt good when they talked, when she teased him. It felt human, and that's the dangerous part. He shouldn't be feeling like this, not now. Not about her, especially not at a moment like this. But humans are flawed. Maybe that's not a weakness. Maybe it's the only beautiful thing we get. He doesn't want to let this go, even if he knows he should. Thankfully, no one can hear what's in his head, or he'd absolutely lose his license. He shuts the laptop. Time to go see her and end this madness. Woohoo, I'm gonna be free! And then I'll be free to get folded like an origami swan. The trial is swift, but every moment feels stretched thin with tension. He stands tall as he presents the new autopsy report. The real one. The evidence is impossible to argue. The victim's time of death was before the car made contact. His body had already suffered trauma to the back, wounds consistent with those in the Miyake case. The courtroom stirs. The prosecution stumbles, demands a second opinion, and the judge grants it. Another autopsy is ordered, and the result is the same. No matter how they spin it, the truth is written across the victim's body like a brand. He was dead before your car touched him. They cannot explain how he was still walking. They can't explain why the wounds mimic the other case, but explanations don't matter now. Only the facts do. You were declared not guilty. Relief floods your chest. Not the peaceful kind, but the kind that burns quietly under your skin. You're not done. This is only the beginning. Your gaze finds the lead prosecutor. His expression is a mess of disbelief and panic. He'll probably lose his position over this. You don't care. He and others tried to bury you and they failed. They'll answer for it. In time, his presence silenced the noise, the sharp line of his jaw, the worn look in his eyes, the slight looseness in his tie. He's exhausted but still composed. You don't mean to smile, but it rises just before you can stop it, and he returns it. Just faintly, like it caught him by surprise. During the trial, standing next to him was already enough to put your senses on high alert. No barrier between you, yet you had to keep your eyes forward, your thoughts calm. But now there's nothing in the way. No courtroom formality or a glass petition holding you back. You step closer. Hug him! I want to hug him so bad. You don't overthink it. The corridor is still buzzing, but your feet carry you forward. Your arms move before your mind catches up. You wrap your arms around him firm, but not overwhelming, and for a second he goes still. Then slowly you feel his hands rest on your back. The warmth there surprises you. Not just the physical closeness, but the quiet permission. He doesn't pull away. He holds you, awkwardly at first. Then softly, his breath brushing your shoulder. When you step back, you catch the color rising just under his eyes. A flicker of something he tries to hide. He clears his throat and looks away, a hand brushing the back of his neck. I'm glad it worked out, but you can still feel it. The echo of him in your arms and the hesitation in his voice. You got another impossible case under your belt. You did a wonderful job. We did. We make a good team. You glance past him at the prosecution and their witnesses quietly filing out of the courtroom. Your eyes follow them, narrowing slightly. Can you send me the full case file? There are people I still need to deal with. A formal investigation will open, yes. But that won't be enough. Not for what they did. Not for how they tried to erase you.
I'll send everything I've got.
Don't forget the medical assistant.
You're going after him too. He manages when following orders.
Talk to him first. If he cooperates, maybe there's room for leniency, but that's up to him.
Alright, your call.
Neither of you moves right away. The hallway is thinning out, but the moment lingers. It's strange how someone you barely knew a month ago could feel so familiar now. There's more you could say. Things that wouldn't fit here, not with people still watching. A woman approaches. You recognize her from his office, his department chief probably. She claps him on the shoulder, says something about a commendation. You step back, giving them space, but not going far. As she turns to leave, you catch her voice. Not even a little tension, huh? Look at his blush, he's like Angie blushing. That's so cute. He doesn't answer, just gives her a look that speaks for itself. You take a breath. It's time to go. Thank you for everything. For believing in me.
Hiromi, you can call me Hiromi.
You pause and smile. Stop by my office sometime, if you ever want to talk. He holds your gaze a second too long and then nods.
Will do.
Oh my god, things are blossoming. I'm so excited. But he doesn't come. Wait, what the hell? Not even in the other way? A month passes. Life settles into something that looks like normal, though it never quite feels that way. Your days are filled with trials and nights spent tracing the curse's trail through fragments of reports, scattered witness sightings, and the lingering pull of cursed energy. Miyake was cleared thanks to the evidence brought forward in your case. She's free now and healing in her own way. You've exchanged a few words since then, but even that feels like a memory from another life. You see him sometimes, passing through the courtrooms, locked in conversation with clients or buried in folders. You nod, he nods back, and that's it. The silence stings more than you expected. You try to convince yourself you misread it all. His glances, the weight of his words, the warmth of that final moment. Maybe it was nothing. Maybe it was just proximity and the shared intimacy that comes from shared hardship. Maybe it was just you, but there's no time to sit with it now. You reach for your cursed weapon, the curse that started everything, the one you've been chasing since the night of the accident. You finally found it. You've got work to do. I hope I don't die. The clock in his office ticks like it's dragging the hours out on purpose. He's staring at a report he's already read twice, unable to focus. In the case in front of him, a double homicide, mother and child, is brutal, complicated. The kind of thing that normally commands all his attention. But she's still in his head, again. The prosecutor. It's getting worse. Every day he tells himself it'll pass. That's just the remnants of a high-stakes trial, and the strange intimacy it brought. But it hasn't passed, it's only sharpened. He told himself it was better to wait. Logical, ethical. If he had gone to see her right after the trial, what would that have looked like? Emotional recklessness. Worse. Opportunism. He wanted to go. God. He wanted to say yes when she asked, but the trial was too fresh. She was fresh out of isolation. Vulnerable, maybe. He didn't want to read into something that wasn't there, so he waited. But waiting hasn't helped. It hasn't made the feelings go away. It's only made them sharper. Now he just needs to know whatever the answer is. He'll hear it, and that will be that. He'll close the door, walk away, and finally put it all behind him. The clock ticks again. His shift is done. He gathers his things with a quiet resolve and heads for the office. His expression stays calm. But his hands betray him, trembling as he rides the elevator up to her floor. He stops outside her office about to knock when he notices the door is slightly open. Something's off. Oh, please don't be dead, Yinny. He steps inside slowly, and the metallic scent hits him fast. Blood. He calls her name. Hiromi? Her voice comes on the floor. He turns the corner and there she is, slouched against the wall, a trail of blood streaked across the floor beneath her. He panics and rushes to her side. What happened? Are you alright? Did you call an ambulance? Before he can pull out his phone, she reaches up and touches his face, gentle but firm. Hey, fine. Just resting. But she pulls up her shirt slightly, shows him her arms, her side. No wounds, no bruises. See? I'm fine. He shakes his head, unconvinced. His eyes move over her again, searching for damage. This doesn't make any sense. You don't make any sense. She laughs. Of course she laughs. What happened? I just pushed myself too far. It's nothing serious. She's holding something back. Again, like she always does, and he wonders, not for the first time, if he'll ever truly know what she's carrying. What she's hiding. What are you getting yourself into? You don't have to do this alone. She smiles faintly, gaze softening. I'm not alone. Not anymore. Then after a pause, I've never seen you show so much emotion. It's cute. You're cute when you're worried. Hiromi? His mind short circuits. Cute? I object to that statement. Really? It wasn't a statement, it was an opinion, so you can't object shit. She laughs again, somehow despite the blood. The panic and the mess of unspoken things between them, he finds himself relaxing, in the only way her presence ever seems to allow. Are we gonna bang a line now? You come back from the bathroom in clean clothes. That was a close call. Making up an excuse for the reverse curse technique would have been a nightmare. But it's a good day. It's been a long time since the world gave you even that much. You think of Takeda's family. How they spoke on the news, grief and fury in their eyes. They didn't accept the verdict. You understand. You wish you could give them closure. But the real killer is gone now and your hands delivered the justice the system wouldn't. Your conscience is clean. Eyes you with that calculating gaze again. Like he's waiting for a crack to show. I'll show him a crack, pulls pants down. You sure you're alright? You glance at him, already smiling before you reply. I might look like hell, but I can still take you. Yeah, I sure can. Hehe. You stop. The words hang between you for a moment too long, just like how something else is hanging between him. Something big. In a fight. I meant in a fight. The laugh that escapes him is nothing like his usual reserved self. It's sharp and surprised, like it caught him off guard. It cuts through the tension like glass cracking under heat, and gods, it's beautiful. He's so pretty. His whole face changes when he laughs. Softer, looser. That ever-tight jaw slackens. The lines around his eyes crease just enough to show a glimpse of something boyish underneath the cynicism. You watch him like you've never seen him before, and maybe you haven't. Not like this. You know what? I mean it in the other way too. I absolutely do. His laughter fades. Slowly. His eyes catch yours and he doesn't look away. He steps in close. It's time to fandangle.
Yeah?
Yeah, he leans in. You grab the collar of his shirt and pull him in. Your back hitting the edge of the table. His lips crash against yours, clumsy at first, too much teeth, not enough air, but neither of you care. It deepens fast, urgent. His hand finds your waist, hesitant at first, then firmer, like he's been waiting. Your fingers weave into his hair, tugging just enough to earn a low sound from him, something between a growl and a gasp. He kisses you deeper, slower now, tasting you like he wants to memorize the shape of your mouth. His fingers curl slightly into the fabric of your clothes, and when you draw back just enough to look at him, his lips are parted, his eyes half lidded and dazed.
You confuse me.
His voice has barely a breath against your mouth. I think you like that.
Maybe I do.
His mouth travels to your neck, warm and insistent. His suit jacket slips from his shoulders and you push it aside. Whoa. Nothing compared to the heat of his breath when he sinks to his knees. Wow. A man who fought for your freedom, now craving something even deeper. His lips meet you. Wow. Sadly I can't show this on YouTube, but damn. I always knew that big nose was good for something. Come on up. Now, apparently the windworm's massive too. Wowee. The curtains are open. The lights of the city spill into your office, casting fractured shadows on the walls, but you don't care who sees. I'm just grabbing onto his tie, huh? Oh man, he's really going for it. That's when you know that he's gonna make a good judge, because he has no trouble pounding at all. His eyes lock on yours with every push in and pull out, like he's trying to read something behind them.
You're still hiding things, even now.
I love his nose so much. It is so hot to me. There's like other characters with that nose, like the bump, the Roman style nose, like Rei from Binary Star Hero, and also how Mighty is depicted in some of the mural art in Honkai Star Rail and some fan art as well. Absolutely gorgeous. Oh, I love noses like that. And what are you gonna do? That is an angle. Wow, I'm just like seeing it up close from behind. It's just going in. You know me, I can't do his voice justice. His head drops onto your shoulder. You stay like that for a moment while the city hums on beyond the windows. That was hot as hell. The city glows beyond the window, a wash of neon and distant headlights. You're curled against him on the sofa, skin against skin, your heartbeat slowly settling. His arm rests beneath your shoulders, his hand trailing absent circles along your spine. Why didn't you come by when I invited you? Your voice breaks the silence gently, like you're testing the shape of it in the dark. He exhales through his nose. Hey, look at him. Wow, look at his cum gutters. Oh my god, he's so pretty. He exhales through his nose, gaze fixed somewhere past the glass.
I wanted to give you time to see if what you were feeling wasn't just the isolation, the weight of everything. You were vulnerable. I didn't want to take advantage of that.
You look up at him, the edge of a smile touching your lips. Thank you. I appreciate that. You rest your head against his shoulder. The two of you watch the city burn with light. Then without looking at you, he asks,
do you ever feel remorse for the people you've convicted?
You turn the question over in your mind. Yes, sometimes. I wonder if I was too harsh. People make mistakes. Some of them weren't monsters, just broken. And I didn't always make room for that. How about you? Do you regret defending someone? He doesn't respond right away. His fingers move again across your back, slower now, like he's thinking with his hands as much as his mind.
Not really. We all carry things the law can't measure. Regret and fear and desperation. Human flaws are inevitable. The law only sees what's written down, but people are more than what they've done, or at least some of them are.
You shift closer, your voice softer this time. Do you ever think maybe we're all just one bad day away from ending up on the other side of the glass? His hand stills.
More often than I should.
You're about to ask more. To pull at the thread he rarely lets anyone touch, but he leans in instead. Mouth finding yours, gentle at first then fuller, like he's trying to lose himself in the feeling before the thoughts can drag him back. Maybe it's his way of answering. You let him, and somewhere between the soft drag of his lips and the warm press of his palm against your waist, you wonder how long you'll be able to keep calling this temporary. Time passes, quietly like a fog rolling over the city. You grow used to the sound of his knock at your office door, the way it always comes just as the silence threatens to sink its teeth into you. The rustle of case files in his hand, a soft exhale he lets out when he sees you. That's so sweet. It becomes a rhythm, a kind of comfort. Some nights he stays late, papers spread out across your desk, laughter shared over takeout cartons. The occasional brush of his fingers against yours when you reach for the same document. He never says much about those moments, but his eyes linger longer each time. He's trying to understand you, still searching for the shape of your truth in the spaces you never let him touch. And you wish you could let him see, but you can't. Not without revealing the world beneath your skin, the one soaked in cursed energy and blood, in truths that don't fit in courtrooms or case files. He doesn't see it, and maybe that's a mercy. Oh yeah, because this is like way before he awakens his curse technique. Still, it aches to love someone who may never fully know you, to keep parts of yourself buried. Even when he looks at you like you're the only mystery worth solving. Even when he listens to you like your voice is the only one that matters. So you keep your relationship tethered to the real, the manageable work. He tells you about his new case. Another impossible case. The man on trial is neck deep in trouble, and the prosecutor is one of the same who tried to destroy you. The defense won once, but now there's an appeal. He's confident, focused. He lays out a strategy with clarity and resolve, but when he glances your way, you catch it. Something fraying at the edges. His belief in the law, in fairness, in the system he's devoted his life to, it's wearing thin. You sit beside him shoulder to shoulder, your hands close but not quite touching, and you try, in all the small ways you can, to hold the parts of him that still believe, just like he once held yours. You wait at your office, pacing more than working. Oh no. But hours pass and no message, no call, and still, there's a knot in your stomach that won't loosen. A sense, heavy and cold in your bones, that something is going to happen. You grab your coat and head towards the courthouse. Oh no, I hope this isn't a bad ending. The closer you get, the louder the noise becomes. Shouts and hurried footsteps and the sharp pitch of panic. People are spilling out of the courtroom screaming, faces pale, clutching each other as they flee down the corridor. Your cursed energy reacts before your brain does. You feel it, a presence. No waves of it. Thick and erratic cursed energy flooding from inside the courtroom. You push through the crowd, heart hammering. Inside, the scene hits you like a brick wall. Blood stains the floor. Two bodies lying motionless beneath flickering overhead lights. The air is metallic and still, thick with silence that comes only after violence. Then you see him. Steps out of the courtroom. Face unreadable, his expression carved from stone. His posture is too calm, too composed, but the blood on his clothes betrays the truth. A gavel hangs from his hand, slick with red. Maybe don't bang that gavel and bang me instead. You open your mouth to speak, but your voice dies when your eyes lock on the weapon. The gavel, covered in blood. Your breath catches, his radiating cursed energy raw and volatile, like it doesn't quite know where to settle. It wraps around him like a second skin, your mind reels. He's not a sorcerer. He wasn't a sorcerer. He couldn't even see curses before. What the hell happened? Then his eyes find yours. He stops in his tracks, staring at you, not like a man caught in the act, not like a criminal. More like a man seeing color for the first time after a life of black and white. He whispers your name softly, almost reverently, and it snaps you out of your shock. Did you do that? He doesn't answer. Just keeps looking at you like he's seeing all the things he missed. The way cursed energy clings to your body, the truth you've always hidden. You activate your technique. The scale manifesting on his chest in a shimmer of golden shadow. He glances down, startled. The scale slowly tilts right. The weight of his sins tipping into reality. Answer me! He flinches. I'm sorry. Then he turns and runs. No! My boyfriend! Your Honor, he's innocent? You take a few steps after him, cursed energy thrumming in your veins like it's begging to be used. His back is to you, running. You raise your hand. Just one strike, one blow to bring him down. But you freeze. He isn't turning around, he isn't fighting, he's fleeing like a wounded animal. Your fingers tremble in the air, cursed energy pulsing at your fingertips, and still you don't release it. The weight in your chest presses tighter. You can't do it. You let your hand fall to your side, shoulders heavy with disappointment. He disappears down the corridor, his figure swallowed by dust and distance. Then slowly you turn around and walk back towards the courtroom. The real cleanup begins now. Blood, bodies, and statements. You'll handle it like you always do, but the chaos inside you, that will take far longer to clean up. Maybe it never will. Everything unravels after that. The news won't shut up about Tokyo, chaos and curses and murders. But even in your small town, curses are multiplying, pouring in from places they shouldn't. You spend your days slicing through them one after another, your body aching with exhaustion. Your nights, those are harder, because no matter how many curses you exercise, no matter how deep you bury yourself in work. Why is there angst in my smut? I just wanted to bang a lang, but now my feelings are hurt. How did he develop a curse technique? Why him, of all people? Why did he do what he did? You try to understand. But without him here to explain, to look you in the eye and tell you his truth, it's useless. And it hurts. It hurts that he left you behind, that he left you in the dark. The thoughts come in loops, relentless. Where are you, Hiromi? Are you still you? Tokyo is a mess, haunted, half crumbling. Still reeling from the weight of everything that happened. The streets feel colder now, lonelier. He walks them in silence with his head down, hands shoved in coat pockets like maybe if he kept moving he can forget the blood on them. But he can't. He's killed people. Too many. Sukuna might be gone. He finally understands her now, what she was hiding. And why. But he can't even talk to her about it anymore. Oh, this is after the end of Jujutsu Kaisen. So we went from pre-curse, pre-culling games arc Hiromi to post-end of Jujutsu Kaisen timeline. He lost something real when he chose his path, destroyed a future before it even had a chance to begin. He doesn't expect forgiveness, but she deserves the truth, because no way in hell she's going to forgive him. Not after what he did. Not after what he became. She's a prosecutor. She believed in justice, in truth, in him, and he shattered all of it. Don't worry, I'll forgive you. I just want you back. He'll keep going. As a sorcerer, as a man with too many sins and not enough penance, he'll keep saving lives if it means balancing the scales even if just a little. But first he has to face her. Oh boy. The surge of curses fades with the weeks. And for the first time in months, life begins to resemble something close to normal again. You return to your work as a prosecutor. But something shifted. A dull ache settles into your routine. You still think about him. Every day. One morning, you arrive at your office early. You open the door and stop. He's there, standing in the middle of the room like a shadow that never left. Please don't leave me again. I missed you and I'm sad. Hands at his sides, still in the same suit. He looks leaner, paler, like he hasn't slept right since the day he disappeared. He turns slowly at the sound of the door. His eyes meet yours and something fragile passes through the air between you. Hi. Really? Hi? Is that all you can say? I can't believe you left me. Do you know how much trouble you're in? Bend over. You stare at him. His cursed energy hums in the air, more controlled, but still there. Your skin prickles from it. Hi. That's all you have to say. That's what I said. He exhales like he's been holding that breath since the day he left.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have run. I was ashamed of what I did. I still am.
His voice is soft. There's no defense, only the truth. It hurts more because of that. You study him. The way his shoulders carry the weight of everything. How his jaw is set like he's ready for whatever judgment you offer. How many more did you kill? He looks down and tells you. About the culling game. About the people he tried to save. The ones he couldn't. About the monsters, both cursed and human. He doesn't flinch when he speaks of death. He doesn't try to paint himself as a hero.
They didn't prosecute me in the end. Someone from the Jujutsu headquarters interfered. But I asked Shimizu to press charges anyway. I want to pay for what I did.
You say nothing for a long moment. Just watch him. The man who once stood beside you in a courtroom. The man who once made you feel less alone. You think of all the nights you wondered where he was. If he was still alive, if he even thought of you. You think of the trust he shattered and the talks you once had about people being more than what they've done. Back before everything burned. I'll be your defense, if you need one. His eyes widen. For a moment he just stares at you. Like you can't believe what you said. Like it hurts to hear it.
Are you sure?
You take a slow breath. No, you're sure. Not entirely. But you need to see it through. Someone once made me believe that human flaws are not always a reason for condemnation, but a reason for empathy and second chances. If the person owns up to them, he breathes in, a trembling, quiet thing.
Thank you. I'll work hard to be worthy of your trust again.
You came back. That's a good start. You both sit near the window, shoulders close. The city hums below, distant and unreachable.
If anything, this made me understand you better. The secrets, the silence, what you were carrying alone.
He pauses, voice dropping.
I want to understand more. I hope you carry it, if you let me.
You glance at him, the corner of your mouth tugging upwards. That might be another impossible case.
That's a good thing. I've never been afraid of those.
You chuckle. The sound soft and surprised. Your laughter mixing with his while outside the city begins to stir again. Unaware of the quiet truce unfolding above it. Ending 1 out of 3. Woohoo! I'm pretty sure this is the good ending, but we're gonna get the other 2 as well. I'm kind of scared though, and I'm pretty sure this is another ending. How I got here was I picked mostly negative choices, but I did not lie to him for the first choice. I just stayed silent. You run after him. Why'd you do this? He doesn't answer. His footsteps echo ahead of you, uneven and frantic. Stop, or I'll make you! He keeps going. He keeps running like a man who doesn't know where he's going, only that he has to get away. You leap, slamming into his back. He stumbles and crashes shoulder first into the hallway wall. The impact splits the concrete with a sound like thunder. Oh no, please don't make me kill him. The wall groans, then collapses. Everything happens at once. Dust, debris, the roar of stone. You throw up your arms, cursed energy shielding you just enough to avoid being buried. You cut through the dust, clawing your way out from under a slab of concrete. No answer, just silence. You scramble out of the rubble. Heart racing, eyes scanning the hallway, but he's gone. Disappeared into the chaos. Coward! The word rips out of you, burning your throat. Your heart pounds. The weight of betrayal digs deep, deeper than the rubble you just clawed through. You bite down the sting in your chest. He made his choice, and if he ever shows his face again, he'll pay for it, just like anyone else, no matter what he meant to you. That's sad. Ending 2 out of 3. I don't like that one. I have found another branch. So basically for this one, I lied to him at the start, and then I told him about the woman, and then I tried to convince him to take a safer option as opposed to just confront the authorities directly. He finds a private forensic examiner, someone with credentials but little reputation to lose. The report comes back, but it's sloppy, incomplete. Maybe careless, maybe paid off. Wait, no, I'm going to prison! It's no use. When the trial day arrives, the courtroom is heavy with quiet certainty. Calm, every objection and cross-examination measured and exact. But there's no angle left to take. No evidence strong enough to cut through what they already decided about you. When the verdict comes, it's not a surprise, it still stings. Guilty, 10 years in prison. But I didn't do it, and now I won't get to bang-a-lang. They allow you a brief moment alone before you're taken back. I'll send the appeal as soon as I can. You stare ahead. Everything feels distant and hollow. You did what you could. Don't blame yourself. He finally looks at you. There's frustration behind his calm, but he says nothing. Maybe he knows how empty promises sound right now. You offer him a nod. That's all either of you can give. The guards barely hide their satisfaction when they pass your cell. One of them taps the bars. Tomorrow's a big day. Try to get some sleep. You don't answer. You sit on the edge of the bed, hands resting in your lap, and stare at the wall until night falls. Then you move. You escape your cell using your bare hands. Cursed energy pulsing beneath your skin. The lock doesn't stand a chance. You slip into the hallway and make your way to the cameras. One by one, you destroy them. Sparks crackle in the dark as the glass shatters and metal warps under your strikes. The guards approach, shouting for you to stop. You don't. You raise your hands, cursed energy rising. The moment they get close, it activates. Oh no! I'm just like murking people now. A scale appears on each of their chests. The heavier it pens to one side, the more pain they've inflicted on others. Your cursed technique doesn't care about guilt. It doesn't care if they beg for forgiveness. It doesn't care if they change, it only punishes. That's a really cool curse technique though. The more they hurt others, the more your attacks hurt them. That's so cool. You strike the first one. She drops immediately, choking on her breath. Another tries to lunge, but your fist slams into her side. She screams as the weight of everything she's done crashes back into her. You don't hold back. Soon, they're all on the ground. You step over them and head towards Miyake's cell. Soon you'll be free from this place. From the law that chose convenience over truth. And you're not coming back. You'll do justice on your own terms now. Oh no. But also, oh yes. She escaped, and she took another woman with her, Rei Miyake. We don't know if it was kidnapping or if Miyake went willingly. Both are still missing. His eyes scan the words over and over, but they don't settle in his mind. Bent cell doors, disabled cameras, injured guards, the facility left in chaos. It doesn't feel real. Who knew she had an inner? He barely hears the words. His fingers tighten around the edge of the paper. His pulse is a steady hammer under his skin. He spent so long trying to understand her. Her silence, her restraint, the tight coil of something always just under the surface. And she was holding back. All this time. She'd spoken calmly, even smiled. But now the truth screams through the broken walls and twisted steel. She trusted the law to be fair, but when it wasn't, she didn't hesitate. He was still going to fight for her. Why didn't she wait? He should feel betrayed, furious, and instead there's something else. Wonder and a strange ache. She really is a mystery, not just a puzzle to solve, not just a client. He doesn't know what he hopes for. That she's safe, that she's far away, that she still thinks of him. All he knows is he still wants to know her, even if he never gets the chance. Ooh. It'll be so cool to find out what happens after, but that is the ending. And we have all 3 endings. Woohoo! Oh, that was so good. Anyways, thank you so much for playing through Convicted Hearts with me. I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. I absolutely love Kaiwei's games. I know I said this a couple of times, but Kaiwei is so incredibly talented and so creative. The way that she writes her stories is always so incredibly unique. I feel like she does a lot of research and writes a story on an alternate universe that just suits them so well, and just, or something that isn't an alternate universe but blends seamlessly into like a different timeline in the main story of the actual canon material. A good example is this one. I think she did this character a lot of justice and she did an incredible job. I had so much fun with this. I thought the plot that, you know, you were the accused was a really good idea because it gave the whole game like a lot of like really high stakes, and also the fact that you were keeping your cursed energy abilities secret added like another layer of tension as well. So when you finally run into him after he activates his curse technique for the first time, you can understand like the horror and what he is currently going through. Yeah, I thought it was brilliantly done. As usual, art absolutely delicious. The boinking scene was really hot. Man was just happy to be there, and I was just happy to be there too while he was banging his other gavel, if you know what I mean. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this playthrough. I highly recommend Kaiwei's games if you guys have the chance. I have linked her Patreon in the description box below, so definitely please check it out. You can purchase her games in there as well, or check out her free version. She's incredibly sweet and releases the free version alongside the paid spicy version, which I think is an incredibly kind thing to do. If you're able to, please don't forget to leave her some kind words as well. She genuinely works so hard. She is a solo dev and puts an impeccable amount of work and creativity and a lot of herself into these games so that we can enjoy something really amazing. Anyways, thank you so much. And also, if you want to watch my full reaction to the uncut spicy scene that was in this game, that is available on my Patreon. My link is also in the description box below too. Supporting me monetarily is not mandatory, just very appreciated. Thank you so much again for checking out Convicted Hearts with me, and until the next fictional man, take care.